Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. Actually, I was just with you a little bit earlier. This is Sunday and I just did my unboxing for the Double FirePolish Beads of the Month Club from Adornable Elements, and I just did an unboxing. It is uploading to YouTube as we speak. I said that the beads were not going to go off my workstation, and here they are. What I'm going to be using today is I am going to be using the table cut diamonds. So I'm going to be using these, and then I'm going to be using the 5x7 crystal AB finished beads, the ovals. We're going to be using some of those. I was going to be using some of the oval jump rings, but I'm going to save those for a bracelet. And so I just pulled a Lobster Clasp from my stash. Yes, I could use the toggle clasp from the Findings companion pack, but I want to save that for another project. Then I also have a couple of, these are, I think, 7 millimeters. This is probably 9 millimeters, and we're going to connect this gorgeous pendant that's from the box, or from the Findings pack, and we're going to double jump ring it, and then we're going to connect our necklace with this large jump ring. So I've already constructed a lot of it, and what I did was simple loops. Yes, I'm not a simple loop person, but I thought that I would just go ahead and make up some simple loops, and then oh, and also too, I'm using these spacers from the companion pack as well. Everything is from the companion pack, and the beads from the subscription, with the exception of the jump rings, the Lobster Clasp, and then I'm also using some silver-plated pewter 20 gauge CraftWire from Softlex. And this came off, it was a new spool, so it was kinked around, and so I just went ahead and pulled some off. You know me, I don't like waste, and so I like to work from the spool, so this is a way for me to work from the spool a little bit. I might even be able to get something out of that too, but who knows. So far, out of all of those pieces that I've already done, this is the only waste I have, and part of this waste is me making a flush cut. So that's not too bad so far. And I do like to keep my waste aside just to show you kind of the rhyme and reason of why I'm doing this. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish this off. So I've already done most of the work. We're going to finish off and do these 3 here. Then we're going to do our little cluster, and then we're going to do the other 2. And that's how I decided to design that, was just 2, then the cluster, then 4, the cluster, and then another 4, and then we'll finish it off up at the top. So what I did was I make sure that I have a flush cut, and I know that that's not a flush cut. So I'm going to come down just a little bit and give it a good flush cut. Then I go ahead and I add my bead just like so. Then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. These happen to be from Softlex as well. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to make like an eye pin. I'm just going to roll away from me until the end of the wire meets the stem of the wire, and then just pull it back a little bit just to make that little eye pin. So we don't want it looking like a pea. We want it more looking like a lollipop. And there we go. Then what I like to do is, before I finish it off, I like to go ahead and attach this to what I'm working on. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that and attach it just like so. Then what I need to do is I need to make another loop on this side. So I'm just going to go ahead and bend, and then I'm going to come in about so, and then give it a little bit of a trim. And so it's a little more than 1/4 inch because I kind of want a larger simple loop. And I'm just going to go ahead and just start rolling. Now, I am not the expert on simple loops, so that's how I know how to do it. And there's other ways of how to do it, and mine always turn out a little wonky, so I just say that I'm making an organic piece. All right, so let's go ahead and come in, give this another flush cut. I'm I'm going to add my bead just so that I know about sizing. You can pre-cut these. You do not have to do it the way I do it. But when I pre-cut, I either make it super, super too much or super, super too short. Okay, and so now it looks like the P, right? And I need to just get that nice and centered. This is the ugliest one I've ever done, I think. There we go. We'll get it centered. And then we'll go ahead and get this opened up and attached to our strand here. I'm in love with these beads. And this is, so if you didn't watch, I did an unboxing. This is a subscription for the Beads of the Month Club. And what I am sharing with you today are some beads from the Double FirePolish Beads of the Month. And I have some prior videos. I'll go ahead and put some prior videos for other unboxings so that you can see the gemstone, what the gemstone subscription looks like, because you can choose whatever subscription you want. And so that you can see what the gemstone one looks like, what the fire polish, that's what I have. All right, so let's go ahead. And then this is how I work from the spool. Go ahead and get that all straightened out. And that is a flush cut. I made sure to flush cut it that way. And I'm gonna go ahead and just thread my bead on and then go ahead and make my loop. Again, I only do all this just to save on wire, to save on my materials. Okay, so now I have that. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then what I do when it's like this and I don't wanna bend, I just go ahead and eyeball where I think it's gonna be. I go about there, okay? Go ahead and get this strung on to, I know it's probably just a lot of work for what? Saving some wire, but if I can save some wire, I wanna save some wire. All right, so then let's go here. Let's go here. Then we'll go ahead and come in, and that is about right. It's gonna be a big loop, but that's okay. I want big loops. Okay. Now say, oh boy, that is way too, I cut it way too long, right? All you need to do is you just look to see how much you're off. And when I'm off about that much, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up just a little bit, and I'm gonna cut about that much off. And I'm gonna do it with the flush side out over here. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and come back in with my round nose pliers and then cut and then close it off. And there we go. You don't have a lot of movement. It might get a little wonky. Just turn that way. How's that? Is that okay? I know there's a lot of good simple loop wrappers out there that are simple loop experts that are probably going, don't do it that way. People, don't do it the way she's showing you. And I get that. Now, something with the fire polish is that I noticed that some of them will not go through the 20 gauge. And you just have to play around with them, because I know that all those will go through like beading wire. So you just have to play around until you get the one. Do not force it. They're fire polished glass. They will break. And then we'll go ahead and put on that spacer, and then we'll go ahead and put that on that way. And again, the only reason why I'm doing all this, again, is just to save wire, have minimal waste. And then come in and bend that to where it looks like so. Let's go ahead and give this a trim. I'm gonna go ahead and come in about so. Let's go ahead and get this attached to the rest of our necklace or our beaded chain. And go ahead and put that in there. And then close it off. All right, then we'll come in. And that is actually probably going to be a very small loop. That's about the normal size that I go when I'm making my loop, so it's probably going to be a little small. So hopefully I don't have people standing too close to me to say, your loops are not all the same size. All right, so let's go ahead and just trim off a little bit here. Let's go ahead and thread on our guy here. Let's get a loop. All right. Now, something to note to you, if you are not a subscriber to the Beads of the Month Club, do know I have a coupon code for you. And you can use Bella10, and that will give you 10% off your first month subscription. So be sure to use that at checkout and get 10% off. Again, I highly recommend the add-on for the Companions pack, the Findings Companion pack. I really, really do highly recommend that, especially if you're new to beading, to jewelry making. And I do highly recommend that because it is and not only is it an incredible deal, you get 20% off of what you would pay normally for the Findings. But you get some incredible pieces. I showed you those posts, the earring posts, and I don't think I'd ever pick those out to buy them because I've never used them. I shouldn't say never. I have used post earrings, but I don't think I've ever used them like that. I know Tiara Cast has some, and I have some, but I just haven't used them yet. Okay, let's come in, give it a little bit of a trim, and then we'll go ahead and get this connected here. Not the best. Try and get it a little bit more straight. There we go. See, it looks more like a P when I straightened it out. So let's go ahead and just make it look a little more like it's supposed to. Okay, open that up. So even though this took me a while to make up, you're just going to see the very tail end of all these little simple loops. Okay. And again, I'm going to have a little tiny end over here. Let's go ahead and get that, or oops, let's go ahead and get this wrapped. You want to try to stay in the same place too, because I do have some wonky wraps. Okay, so here we go. Let's see where my mat is at. Okay, so let's go ahead and first put on our Findings here. So we've got this. I've got, it's like a 5, maybe 4 millimeter jump ring. I opened it up because it was attached to others. And we'll go ahead and put on our Lobster Clasp. And we'll get this all nice and closed up. And then we will we'll just open up the, there we go. It's kind of wonky. I don't know what I did with good jump rings. I feel like maybe it's just the way I'm opening them nowadays. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this other one. And yes, I'm using an open jump ring. And it's really, really thick and sturdy. So I don't feel so bad using an open jump ring as the clasp. Plus, it's not a bracelet. I have a harder time doing open jump rings with bracelets. All right, so now what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and get these jump rings. Again, these are like 7 millimeter. I didn't have any 6. Or the 6 millimeters are the ones that I use those for other things, and so I wanted to have this drop down a little bit more. I don't have very many 6 millimeter left. Right, and then we're going to go ahead and thread that one on just like so. I love the double jump ring look. I'm a huge fan of that. All right, okay. So now we have this big, thick jump ring here. I think it's like 9 millimeters. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one. I'm going to thread these on. I'm going to put this one on. And we're going to go ahead and close this up. This actually is going to end up being a fairly short video. And there we go. There is our necklace. And I love the colors. I love the colors. I love the double jump ring look. And I will go ahead and get this photographed. It's a shorter necklace. It's probably about a 16-inch necklace, which I did that on purpose because I want it to sit higher up on my neck. And so I'll go ahead and get a picture of this. Please do check out their website, see if you can find a subscription that will work for you. Also, they have rotating. Look at the rotating subscriptions. Don't forget to use Bella 10 so that you can get 10% off of your first month's subscription. All right, so be sure to check out the Adornable Elements website. I'll put a link in the description below. Use the Bella 10 so that you can get your 10% off of your first month subscription. Check out all the options they have: gemstones and seed beads and fire polish and anything that you could ever want. Also, too, like I said, they have the rotating beads of the month as well. Be sure to leave a comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe. We have so many other beads to use, so many other projects to use with this month. And until next time, have a good one.